want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, and intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it so personal. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes to me. 60 minutes. No business, no mercy. Nothing but stop the blood bubble. You got me. We're going to ring the bell. We're going to ring that championship bell.
Big motherfucking dog.
The Orange Bowl is on Mitch Jeter's leg. Good snap, good hold, kick on its way, and the kick is good! Yes! Mitch Jeter, with 7 seconds left, gives the Irish a lead, 27-24. Notre Dame is on the precipice.
Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl.
3rd and 16, Mahomes roll out. Looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean, gets a block. DeJean is in, touchdown.
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. Huddle Up Podcast, September the 9th, 2025. And football is alive and well. It has given us plenty to talk about this week, and we will do, just that here in just a second. Make sure you are following along with us all season long at Huddle Up Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter. You can get us on our Instagram page at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. You can get us on Twitch, where we do broadcast every week at Huddle Up Inc. You can also make sure to grab your Huddle Up merchandise over on our TeePublic store, and you can get us there. There are deals on the regular, so make sure you just go ahead and favorite that and visit often, get your merch as the year goes on. Grab some hoodies as we get into sweatshirt season here, and you can also follow along and subscribe on all podcast platforms. We would appreciate if you did do that. So go ahead and give us the follow there. EJ will be joining us shortly. Maybe Michael drop by as he did last week. I do not know, but for the time being, it is just Sean and I once again this week, and Sean has a guest with him. How you doing, Sean?
Doing all right. I've officially graduated to evil twin status, complete with lap kitten. We are here. I am officially evil twin. We got my purring evil cat.
It's appropriate.
As you can tell, very evil.
Very evil. Looks very, very evil.
We'll let her go rest in a minute, but she was annoying me, so I picked her up.
Devin joining in with us and already calling his shot. The Dolphins going to get the first pick of the draft next year. It's not looking good in South Beach. We will talk about that.
Yikes!
I am sure coming up here in the power rankings segment here later on in the show. So make sure you stick around for that. We'll have plenty of discussion. Well, of course, the worst of the week we will dabble into when we do talk about the power rankings, but we last year, and we did it. We've done the good, the bad, and the ugly. Last year, I think we did the what did you like or what did you learn. We're gonna change it up a little bit this year. We're gonna do a best of the week. The sound.
There we got something.
All right, so this is our first edition of the best of the week, and we look back at the weekend that was, or I guess the past 7 days in football, because of course you have Thursday night footballs, you have this past week, you had Friday night footballs, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. As you go throughout the season, I'm sure you'll have Tuesday and Wednesday night football. So they continue to give us that, and as we get into playoff baseball. I guess theoretically you could throw in some baseball bests of, and hopefully that'll happen for some of us and not for others. But Sean, this past week, plenty to go around. But what was your best of the week?
Well, I'll give you two. Especially being down here and getting a ton of coverage on it. From a college football standpoint, the best of the week, in my opinion, was the USF Bulls. The USF Bulls pulling off not their first, but their second upset of a top 25 team. This time in-state, kind of proverbial in-state powerhouse, Florida Gators. And man, I don't know what's going on there, but let's try to hang it. I've been trying to hang it more on the USF Bulls than I have on the Florida Gators, and been like, it's a program that's been rebuilding. They got a new stadium coming. They got a new kind of whole new regime, coaching staff and front office going on. And they're really trying to establish themselves kind of as a UCF. Like, they're trying to kind of be that they understand there's the powerhouses in Florida, but they'd like to also represent the state in the national stage. And this is way sooner than advertised. So good for them. From an NFL standpoint, because there's so much other stuff we'll probably talk about, I'm going to focus more on Cam Ward. I thought a very bright spot for me, getting to see him. And, it says a lot for me to say that about a Miami Hurricane. But, no touchdowns to speak of, but played safe football, made some great throws, had some fellas drop stuff. And at the very least, I think Cam Ward showed that he can play. I think there's been some doubt that it was a weak quarterback class, that he was kind of number one by default. Maybe the Titans got their quarterback a year early, things like that. But the kid's got a cannon, knows how to get open, or knows how to evade pressure. And I think for the most part, made pretty good decisions. So not a win under his belt yet, not a touchdown under his belt yet, but more on that later.
Yeah, from the college standpoint, obviously USF is certainly making some noise, and knocking Florida out of the top 25. They are in the top 25. If you would have told me, spoiler alert, that a USF Miami game in week number 3 was going to make our preseason, make our picks as we try to do matchups featuring 2 top 25 teams. Last week not included, but I wouldn't have had the thought of USF being on my list there. So they're definitely doing some things, and yeah, from NFL, Cam Ward, it's not always the most ideal situation when you have to turn to a rookie quarterback in week 1,
especially against one of the 3 proverbial defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, and he, again, in a loss, looked well. If you look beyond the box score, if you look beyond the scoreboard, then you're definitely going to be able to see that the kid knows how to play football, man. Really, really strong performance despite the loss by the Titans. And they have plenty to fix, but
you could really sense like the work ethic and the approach there, because you don't wander into a game against Denver like willy-nilly, like I have all the talent in the world and get away with anything. And he knew where defenders were going to be. Freaking cat. He knew where defenders were going to be. He knew where his guys were going to be. And to be honest, I just, it felt like more of a second or third year guy. It just, no one in Tennessee was questioning what Cam Ward was going to do back there. And you could tell they really wanted to get him over that hump, get him the touchdown. And there was a late drop on a breakaway ball that there's a great clip of his dad just like losing his mind.
Yeah, that was fun.
But his dad went through it on Sunday. So, Cam's got the family there. He's got a decent team around him. I think you saw a little bit of what the Titans bring to the table as well. And it's clearly a better product than last year. So good for Cam.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get better, but EJ joining us.
Hey, buddy. What's up?
How's it going, bud?
I'm well. How you guys doing? What's up, Sean?
Good.
What's going on, EJ?
You guys beating our ass in baseball right now. It's 4-0, I think, still.
Oh, it is 4-1. They gave you a mercy run.
Okay.
You know.
Please beat them.
Ranger had a career high 12 strikeouts before they pulled him.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at it right now between Trey Turner's injury, Bohm. Obviously, your ace is now in the hole. We need all the Ranger we can get.
Yeah, Trey should be back postseason, so that is the good news. They're pretty hopeful on that one. But EJ, as we are in the midst of the best of the week, what was your best of the week?
Got a few things off my chest rather. Don't look now, and I did this last year, and I did this.
Oh boy,
it's not a hot take, but
I said that.
I said last week on the podcast. I said last week that the clear cut favorite in the NFC is the Eagles. That's the only definitive team in the NFC, the Eagles. Number 2 is wide open, and it's wide open to what as much as like 5-6 teams could be considered number 2 in the conference. The Packers made a big statement this weekend against Detroit. Look, we still got 16 games to go, obviously, but that's a win, a big win in the divisional game, and the way they won that game, I'm not sit there and say that number 2 in the conference yet, obviously, but of all the teams we're considering, San Francisco, the Rams,
nobody should be considering San Francisco, by the way.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We got time. This is why they play the season now. But the Packers made a big statement to make that case to be the second best team in the conference right now. You added Micah, and who knows? Maybe Jordan Love. This is the Jordan Love now we see that could be what I tweeted the other day. Like, is this the year that he becomes a top 10 quarterback? Because if he takes the next step forward, this team is dangerous, and that defense looks really, really good for the record. So that was one of my best this week. Another thing that went under the radar too, also this weekend, despite the loss, Michael Penix is really good. Michael Penix is like he's really that dude can sling the ball.
Yeah, I don't know if he just has enormous hands. But like I was watching we were watching some of the fourth quarter, which by the way was like super fun for a while in a room full of Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans who thought they were going to lose. But it's just it almost feels like he just kind of squeezes the ball out. Like I was like watching him and I'm like, how's that release? Like it almost looks like it's coming out his pinky. Like and I'm just like,
yeah. But
the ball looked tiny, and I'm like,
it wasn't a same.
Yeah, kid can play, man.
Right, he came last year like what week 15, week 16. I mean, he played okay last year, but then you got a full camp now. He's the guy going to camp. And look, one game obviously, but I mean, despite the loss, he played phenomenal. That went under the radar.
In a division where, I mean, let's be fair. I mean, Tampa's the front runner, but
without question,
they have a slip up here or there, and that thing is as wide open as wide open.
Yeah, I mean, I think that division had a losing record division winner 2 out of the last 3 years, or close to it. Yeah. So
Tampa's gotten 10 wins pretty much, and I think one year was 9 wins. That was it.
Oh, we got a Schwarbaum, by the way, so it's now 7-1. So
thanks.
He can keep dropping those all he wants.
Yeah, he can just keep doing that. Just number 50 on the year.
You guys, by the way, you guys can keep Phillies carrying also too. I read it.
I need him to win MVP. So
nobody
Phillies have no excuse. But
you have her. You have her.
But in the comments here, speaking about that game, we got to talk about how good Emeka Egbuka is. Great showing in week 1. Wouldn't go as far as the best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah,
but
he's not even the best wide receiver in Tampa.
No. So we'll,
hello, Mike Evans says hello. Come on, what are we doing?
I had the button ready for EJ, and his wasn't a hot
bro.
take,
like he's like in my role right now, taking hot takes.
Yeah, right. I mean that's
that's my role.
But yeah, Penix good. Green Bay, obviously, a strong showing. We'll see where we have them sitting here in a little bit when we get to the power rankings. Mine and Sean, I know you touched on college football. Another upset this past weekend. Mississippi State tried everything they could to win, then tried everything they could to lose until Arizona said, hold my beer. I can lose harder than you can. So Arizona State, and again, this is why I dislike preseason rankings as much as I do, because I thought that with the losses that they had, they were not going to be at the top of the Big 12 like they were a year ago, and not exactly the start that they wanted. I think they almost lost in week 1 as well. So some shakeups in the top 25 already.
But that always happens that way. Like the weeks the unassuming weeks we have. Like we had this last year too. I think it was week 3 last year in college football. The unassuming weeks that like, oh, it's a dead week, no good big games, and then you got like 2 upsets out of nowhere.
Well, again, it's especially early in the year. It's because there's teams that are unranked that are better than people expect. There's teams that are ranked because of what they did last year, and especially now in the transfer era, all of those bets are off. I hate preseason rankings more now than I did before we had transfers. So, but my real best of the week, and I will hit the button on myself.
Homer
is my Los Angeles Chargers going to Brazil, getting the win over the defending AFC champion, multi-time defending AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs, and also extend Coach Jim Harbaugh's undefeated record in NFL opening weeks to 6-0.
Amazing.
So,
it's amazing.
He's
and I'll tell you that, you know, like I think we all have. I think everybody in this panel had the Chargers at least in the playoffs. Some may have them in division.
Yeah,
but
I don't think anybody had them winning the division.
Okay, I know I didn't have.
Rightly so.
I feel like the tide's shifting now. I think the tide's starting to shift now. You know, obviously we'll get to later on. You know, Eagles and Chiefs this week. We could be looking at a situation where we're going to week 3 that Chiefs are 0-2, Chargers are 2-0. You know, that could be. You know,
it was a big win. It's a big hump off the Chargers' back. You know, they've struggled to beat the Chiefs in recent years, and going in there and getting that win. You know, they came close twice last year. Beating the Chiefs.
They always play they always play the Chiefs well though.
Yeah, but they I think they had a 7-game losing streak against them going into this weekend. So yeah, you get that done. You know, we don't have it on the docket, but yeah, big game in Kansas City with the defending Super Bowl champions, the defending AFC champions, the big rematch. All of a sudden, and no, it's not a must win, but it's a very big game. You know, for Kansas City, because I think the Chargers have, you know, not an easy one. There's not a ton of quote unquote easy games in the NFL, but yeah, all of a sudden you could be down 2 games to a team that has 1 win against you. So
we won't cover the game obviously on our picks, but I got the Eagles running away this game, honestly.
I mean, you know, the Eagles. I don't say struggled, and I also think the weather delay impacted both teams on Thursday in a lot of ways. But you know, Eagles have some things to clean up. They'll have their best defensive player back on the field, assuming he doesn't spit on anybody else. But the Chiefs have a ton to clean up, and really the big thing with them is you saw Travis Kelce yelling at, you know, and I get it's football, so I'm not reading a ton into it, but Travis Kelce confrontations on the sideline, Chris Jones and Drew Tranquil going at it. Like Patrick Mahomes did not look happy. All of a sudden, this, you know, the EJ talks about vibes, but the vibes around the Chiefs for years have been this fun-loving, everybody's getting along, all of this.
Well, and they've rode that emotion like for years.
Yeah.
Like it's just been
And
like
it's
as long as you can tell there's like an emotional train that team is on, and the vibe Pat brings to the table, and what a fun guy Kelce is. You know, I don't want to bring it up here, but ironic that the moment you ask someone to be your wife, all of a sudden you're fighting with all your friends. I'm just saying.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I don't think
that was more of a joke than anything. Yeah. But I think I think yeah. I mean,
we don't want the Swifties coming after us, Sean.
It's not going to get any easier this week, I don't think. You know,
no.
You know, I'm not. You know, the Chargers did a lot of things well, and like you said, the Eagles did a lot of things, you know, not well. But you know, you change the pieces around, and you know, fortunately for them, the Giants are on the horizon. But after that, it's the Ravens. So I mean, you're looking at, you drop this one, go up against a guy like Lamar, you could start your first month 1-3.
Yeah, it's
a very realistic situation, I think, right now for Kansas City. 1-3 with 2 more weeks to go without Rice. So,
right, yeah,
I mean, I think it's a big game for Philadelphia, but I think it's definitely
Detroit's on the docket, Washington's on the docket, Buffalo.
It's a tough road. That AFC West gets the whole NFC East.
If Dallas, you know, Dallas had good and bad on Thursday, but if they develop that game on Thanksgiving, could be challenging. You have
they
the
showed an
Chargers
offense that wasn't that against Philly. Dallas showed an offense that wasn't that different than what the Chargers were throwing at them in Week 1.
Yeah. So it's
run
it's
heavy,
not an easy
play
road.
action. Yeah.
You know what reminds me of? Because like a lot of people compare obviously the Chiefs dynasty to the Patriots. It reminds me of the time where the gap between 2005 and 2013, where the Pats didn't win another Super Bowl. We're kind of that spot now too. Where I think we're in that spot now where Kelsey's going to end up retiring next year or two. All these older pieces instead of retiring or leaving in a year or two. How do you retool this team moving forward for the next spot? This is where Brady was. This is why people always give Brady his props, because he was able to be a centerpiece of two different dynasties. You know what I'm saying? So more so on the latter end, because I mean, people always said they give more credit to the defense for the first three, but those last three won in New England. He was definitely the guy. It kind of feels like we're in that spot now where the Chiefs now, okay, they're going to be a good team, they're competitive, win division probably a year. Even if they make a wild card, they're always in the conversation, but they just can't seem to win the big one. We might, but it's weird saying this because we're only 2 years removed, or a year removed from like them winning, going back to back, right? It's kind of weird saying that, but we're kind of at a spot now. I think now where they're going to start transitioning. The only difference now is that Andy Reid's older too, also. So we'll Andy Reid be around.
Chris Jones, who's been the key, student of the game, Kyle Nash, has argued that he's the Chiefs MVP, was basically a non-factor on Friday night. So definitely, again, we're not writing the Chiefs eulogy yet. Like let's make sure we're clear on that. But it's we've been down this road with other teams before, and success. The line between success and failure is often a thin one. So we'll see how that tracks. But yeah, that's where we will leave the best of the week for the first edition. So thank you, gentlemen, for bringing those. And now we are
in this chat.
Yeah.
Now we move on to the third week of college football, and we're back to our original normal programming with some top 25 matchups involved, and teams that are a little bit greater than the teams that we were picking a week ago. So we will start Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time on ABC. It is the number 6 Georgia Bulldogs. They are 2-0 and a 3.5-point road favorite at number 15 Tennessee, who is also 2-0. Your over-under on this game is 49.5. Sean, we'll start with you.
What's my spread on it? The sheet I picked out didn't have it on there.
We got the Georgia is a 3.5-point favorite, over under 49.5.
That's what my research today said. So, I mean, you kind of have a tale of two situations. You have a proverbial powerhouse coming off a couple of games against weak opponents. Offense hasn't looked spectacular. Of course, we just need them to keep breeding defensive guys here in Philadelphia. But, it's a situation to monitor for Georgia, but this will be a good test. Tennessee, riding high. A lot of flash, a lot of pomp, a lot of excitement, but now some injuries sneaking in. So I think this should be an incredibly competitive game. In one where there's question marks on both sides, I got to kind of, in my mind, lean towards the sidelines and say, which coach is going to step in, lead their guys? Is there a veteran presence somewhere that can step in? And I think when you're talking those scenarios, to me, it's the reigning champs. And with only 3.5 points sitting there, I mean, could I see this being a field goal? Possibly. But I think Georgia covers. I think it's going to be like a touchdown to 10 points. I think it's going to be competitive right through to the fourth quarter. And I think, when push comes to shove and someone needs a takeaway or something like that, give me the Bulldogs to do that. So I'm going to take the Bulldogs to win and cover, and that over under. Tennessee's got enough fly. I think both these teams have enough power. I can push this over. I'm going to take it just over on that.
All right, EJ.
Worth noting, the spread opened at 8.5. Georgia minus 8.5, and it dropped to 3.5 points. It's a crazy swing there. Having said that, look, it should be a competitive game. I just think Georgia's is better. It's that simple. And you mentioned the injuries too, also, and stuff like that, Sean. I'll take Georgia to cover the 3.5 points. It almost feels like stealing money. which scares me now too, because Vegas isn't stupid either. So give me Georgia to cover the spread, and the over is actually really easy. To be honest, the best bet is the over. Take the over on this one.
You're nothing but a degenerate.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, look, I mean, Tennessee, that stadium can sometimes be a little bit of an equalizer, a little less so in the afternoon. So I think Tennessee will stay competitive for a while, but Georgia's the better team. They're eventually going to just take over. So I think they do push it past that 3.5. Yeah, if it was still at 8 or 8.5, whatever you said, EJ, that I would have been more apt to lean Tennessee. But that's probably what happened. Is there was probably just so many people reacted to that number and said it's going to be closer that it balanced out a bit. Yeah, I do think it's going to push over here. It's the SEC at times can be among the best defensively, but we've seen plenty of times these big SEC games do get into the combined 50s and 60s. So I think we'll see that here on Saturday in Neyland, Georgia. Devin does have Georgia and the over. We have a comment here. Georgia Gators winning a natty, I believe it says. Yeah, maybe on College Football 26 for Xbox or PlayStation, and they got to. Unfortunately, got to turn the game off there. Next one, again, this one probably the surprise game of the year so far to have on our battle of top 25 opponents. This one, 4:30 Eastern time on the CW network. That is accurate. That is ACC football on the CW network. We have number 18 USF riding high 2-0, traveling to another team that's riding high, number 5 Miami. A team that unfortunately we know all too well, don't we? Miami. We have the Hurricanes, a 17.5 point home favorite. You're over under 56.5, Sean.
Well, it's a fun story. Obviously, my like I said, it was my first half of my my best of the week was the USF Bulls, and it's a fun story. I think it's a nice preview to the future. So far haven't had to travel super far, so good for them. But beating the Gators is one thing. A team that's ranked kind of higher than where we all thought they should be, and going across the state to a team that's ranked pretty much where we all thought they would be should they get through Notre Dame. I think the run stops here. The good news for USF is
they are who we thought they were.
The pressure's kind of off. Like, not that it was ever fully on,
right?
But like this season's. I mean, as long as you don't just rattle off and lose the rest of them, I feel like beating those two teams on your first 2 weeks puts your team on the map at least, and sets you up for a nice, probably a nice recruiting trail, probably a nice off season, and moving into the future. But Miami's just too good. That team is loaded. The offense can be flashy, but we saw it in our first game. That pass rush is, I mean, it looked like it was playing at an NFL level. I don't see USF being able to limit the pressure at all and limit mistakes at all. And I think I don't even know if they still use them, but if the gold chains are sitting on the sidelines, there will be plenty of them being worn come this weekend. I take Miami easily in a rout. What's my over-under number?
56.5.
Under. I don't think USF puts up enough points to push that over.
All right, EJ.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of points, man. Look, Miami does look good. I'm not gonna lie about that. I mean, I can't stand them, but they look good. I don't know. This is a fun story of South Florida. I'm tempted to take them on the points, but no doubt Miami wins the game no matter what. Just for the vibe. You know what? I'm going to take South Florida points just for fun, and I will take a slight under.
Do it.
The under.
Yes, slight.
Nothing is over.
We got
Miami.
Miami as well. Yeah. Look. For one, reality's sake, USF. You're probably going to win some more games that people don't think you should. This year, but this week's not one of them. This is where the Cinderella story strikes midnight, at least for the time being. And also from a completely selfish Notre Dame standpoint, I want Miami to keep winning at this point. Let's make that loss, let's make that loss in week 1 look as good as possible for as long as we can. So an easy victory. I will say an easy cover.
Miami!
The Hurricanes do get the win again. I will also take the under.
Over!
As a Florida State fan, I'm the same way too, because here's the deal. They play in 2 weeks, or 3 weeks rather. So, that Knowles
vesicles
huge. So right now the Knowles are number 10 in the AP. I mean, I'm not convinced they're 10th in college football, but things are shaping out to where that game is going to be massive, and that rivalry is always more fun when both teams are really, really good.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since that's
it's either one or the other.
Right. It's either that 1 year Florida State was good, or that 1 year or 2 years where Miami was good, and then
it's Jim. It's why I said for years that is my all-time favorite rivalry in sports, because I was raised. I watched those old Miami Florida State games as a child. Those wide rights back in the day in the early '90s. I watched those games live, man. So I was raised in that thing. So I miss that whole those games decided the national title.
Yeah, and we are back this year. But last one, college football game for the week. We travel to 7:30 Eastern time on NBC, also on Peacock. Your number 16 Texas A&M 2-0. They travel to number 8, and unfortunately 0-1 Notre Dame, who is a 7-point home favorite. Your over under on this one is 49.5. Sean.
Well, before I make my pick, I just got to give some merit to some of the students in the chat over here just praising Florida. Just we're going undefeated. I don't know which student is, but I can tell you who it's not. It's not student of the game Kyle Nash, because Kyle Nash Kyle Nash at least reviews some tape before he makes these outlandish claims.
Exactly.
At least he's watched a game or two. I think it's Colin. Colin, go to bed, will you? Feel free to stick along. It's gonna be a fun show. Devin. Okay, Devin taking Notre Dame in the over. Let me just thanks Devin for bouncing me back.
Devin did have Miami in the under.
He had Miami, of course. I mean, this is on paper a little scarier than it should be. I think Notre Dame did not look great. Obviously, A&M has looked pretty well so far. Very different pedigree of teams they're beating to this point. But I think Notre Dame put up enough of a fight, and knowing what we know about the coaching there and how they responded to some adversity last season, I have no reason to think they can't do the same. So this is a very important win. It's not a must, but it's darn close, and I think they come prepared. So give me the Irish in this one, and
Homer.
I will push the over on this. I think both teams can put up enough points in this one. Give me the Irish in the over.
All right, very good. EJ.
I mean, you say it's not a must, but it's got to be kind of close to one.
Real close.
Because the college football playoff and all this stuff. And once you get into like the 3-loss area, 2 losses, you're probably still going to get in, but 3 losses, so you want some wiggle room, of course. Having said that, though, the one advantage Notre Dame has here is rest. They haven't played in 2 weeks. All right, so they'll have that in their belt. Like, this game is a little bit scary because A&M is one of those teams that they always hang around in the top 15 every so often time of year. You stop them, and then all of a sudden they lose a game, and then they're out of it. And that's the game here. I think Notre Dame will find a way, because they're well rested. They'll find a way to win this game. They'll cover 7 points. And what's the over under?
49.5.
Ooh, did the under this one? The under.
Yeah, I mean, granted, we only have one recent version to compare it to. A much different game, obviously different players, different quarterback. 23-13 a year ago in College Station. So it's certainly have a little bit of an idea of where we're at with the two teams.
I'm just saying that A&M can't be trusted in these spots. I think that's my bigger thing here.
I think that's a fair assessment.
And the fact
historically, yeah.
Right, and the fact that Notre Dame is just well rested. They haven't played 15 fucking days by the time this game kicks off. So yeah.
And in terms of the must win number, it is about as close as it gets, right? I'm not going to say it's must win. It's barely going to have double-digit numbers in the month of September. So still plenty of football ahead. Would not be a great start to the year having your two toughest games on the schedule end up as losses. But there is a precedent to a team with 2 losses getting in the playoff and finding success in the playoff. Ohio State lost to Oregon on October 12th last year and lost to what wasn't a very good Michigan team at the very end of the regular season last year. Now they did have wins against number 3 Penn State, number 5 Indiana along the way as well. So they had some other things to boost themselves up. Notre Dame currently doesn't really have that on the schedule, although USC creeping closer to a top 25. Maybe a few other teams can sneak their way in as well. So again, I don't like to root for USC, but at this point, the more that team can win, find themselves in the top 25, hopefully before October 18th rolls around, would be favorable for us as well. But in terms of where we're at, I mean, it's I was alarmed early in the game against Miami, but that Notre Dame team didn't give up. They didn't quit, which has kind of been a staple under Marcus Freeman, even, in a national championship game last year. So I have faith in this coaching staff. I have faith in this team that with 2 weeks to prepare, that there's more than enough time to get ready for Texas A&M. So I think Notre Dame does win this game. I do think they cover the 7. I think it's going to be a more comfortable win, a more comfortable game for Notre Dame fans in South Bend on Saturday. I am going to stay under on this one. I think that Notre Dame's going to try and find ways to utilize the ground game, get Jeremiah Love more involved than he was against Miami. So I think you control the clock, you control the game, you control the victory, and Notre Dame will find success on Saturday. So
before we leave the college segment, this is the first time I got a chance to really look at the top 10, top 15 AP right now, and because I've been very NFL centric this weekend. I don't only 2 and some odd week 0 weeks into the season, but my God, it feels so wide open. I don't think I've ever felt a season feel so wide open where I feel like you can see a number of up to maybe 9 teams that can legitimately win a college championship this year.
That is the beauty of the 12-team playoff. I mean, if you look at, last season, you had a 2-loss Ohio State team in the national championship against a team that lost to Northern Illinois, right? So now this year, I think the road will be a little bit harder for some of the teams in that middle grouping, lower grouping, because you get straight seeding this year as opposed to Boise State getting a bye in the 4th seed. So but yeah, it's the 12-team playoff, and I know some people don't like it and say it creates too many teams in the mix, but what it does is what a playoff is designed to do. It keeps there's a small enough number of teams that the regular season still matters, but it is a big enough grouping of teams that 1 loss, 2 losses even isn't going to kill you. Like in college football, you used to have to be absolutely perfect, and sometimes it made games almost feel too tight, and that teams really weren't kind of opening up the book and doing everything that they could do. Now I think teams are playing a little freer, a little looser, because you can take some risks a little bit that you couldn't take before. And we're 1.1 seasons into this 12-team experiment, but I like the college football product.
And we talked about it in our college football preview a little bit about how, I predicted, there will be no, in the top 10, there will be no undefeated teams that it's just, it feels like in games where you used to have to push to win one. Now, teams in the 4th quarter, you don't have to dive into your playbook. You can save some stuff for next week. You can kind of be like, well, let's cash this one in. And I'm not saying teams don't try to play a full 4 quarters, but there's just certain moments now where like you said, you have that cushion,
less stress.
Yeah, it now obviously once you've used your cushion, then you wind up with a bit more stress than some of the other teams you're competing with for spots. But for a lot of these programs that oh, I can't believe we missed out on this team in the playoff, or I can't believe that it's a shame they lost that game because I think they would have run the. Well, now you can have that little break, So I think it's great.
And more than anything, too, also for me as someone who loves college football, like it's created more meaningful games across the board. It makes more games watchable. Like I hated the fact that we love the fact I come from an era, of course, where like back in the day, the AP poll, the coaches poll, the USA Today poll decided the champion, and I hate that shit. Then we advanced to the BCS, then we advanced to the 14 playoff, and then all that. I love the fact that we have more meaningful games to watch now. It just feels so much more freeing. Look at this now. You have a team that went 2-10 last year. 2 weeks in now is now number 10 in the country. I mean, look, again, I question if they're top 10 team overall, but it's number 10 right now in the country. You got South Carolina number 11. Okay, you have Illinois in the top 10.
Yeah, Brett Bielema has that team playing much better, and I
Big
knew
10 as a whole looks very strong right now.
Yeah. It does, and that's the thing too. Also, look,
is it proverbial powerhouse hard? A few years ago, SEC strong, maybe not, but there's a lot of very good teams in the Big 10.
And granted, there's still a lot of SEC teams. I think 11 SEC teams in the not 11. What was the number? I think I heard that currently in the top 25 right now. Currently, there's quite a few of them in there. But like you can take a group of teams. Yeah. Oh yeah, we expect Ohio State to be there in the end, Penn State be in the end, Notre Dame, Oregon, whatever. But
it is 11.
It's 11. Okay, right. So it's just crazier now. Look, we're 2 weeks in, so we want to sound a little bit.
Sure.
But it's just crazy right now. Well, now middle of September, this is what we get now. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's and I know there's the jokes have been made, the memes have been made. That now that everybody can do what the SEC was doing, the field has leveled a bit. So I don't think we'll ever see anybody quite as dominant, or any conference, I should say, quite as dominant as what the SEC was prior to the NIL transfer era. But yeah, I mean, right now, and again, we'll see how things shake out as the year goes on. But you have 3 Big Ten teams in the top 10. So right now, I mean, as it stacks out with the way the seeding goes, Clemson would be out. South Florida would be your number 12 seed, but you would have South Carolina up through Ohio State.
If they win this weekend, oh my God, we got
So it's a different world. It's a different world.
More than anything, more for me anyway, as a watcher, more what I want is competition, and this is competition. I love this.
Absolutely, and again, that one bad game, one bad loss doesn't kill you. I know some people don't like it, but every other level of football, every other level of sport has a playoff. It was only a matter of time, and a more than 4 teams. So glad to see college football finally found their way to that one. So all right, let's move along to the National Football League as we head into week number 2 of action, and we will start 1:00 on Sunday on CBS. It is the 1-0 Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the 1-0 Cincinnati Bengals, who are a 3.5-point home favorite. You're over under on this one, 49.5. EJ, we'll start with you.
Yeah, the Bengals, man. I mean, they scared their lives. On top of like Burrow not playing great. What was the kicker's name in the Browns that missed 2 field goals late? I mean,
the wins where you get it, man, especially in week 1.
Yeah, but look, a win's a win. And last year they weren't getting those. This year on the better end of that. But look, I expect the Bengals to bounce back in a big way this week. Although I still question the Jaguars, who they are. Like, hard to assess when you're playing Carolina. Like, what are we doing there?
We thought they were.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take Cincinnati to cover 3 points here. I'll be surprised if they even don't cover or lose altogether. Take Cincinnati points here, and you know what? I will take an over.
Hey man, here's the deal. This is only the second time in the last 6 seasons the Cincinnati Bengals have started 1-0. So if you're a Bengals fan, don't matter how you do it, you take that win and you run with it. There's no style points in the NFL.
Well, after last year, trust me, I'm sure they're taking it now.
Heck yeah, Sean.
I mean, there may not be style points, but the Bengals sure as hell are glad that there aren't. Yeah, if cats have 9 lives, they are down 1. poor Joe Flacco. But yeah, in this particular one, Battle of the Cats here. The Jaguars. I spoke last week about how I think this is a team that's improved. I think it's a team that could make a push. I'm not sure they showed it to me in week 1. Like, I know you took care of business. If there's one thing we learned in that game, it's that the Panthers are worse than the Jaguars. That's what I learned. But the Jaguars ran the ball well. I don't think Trevor Lawrence looked impressive. If it's a matter of timing, if it's getting Hunter up to speed, building a play action game, I don't know what it is exactly that they need to work on. Maybe it's just football. Whatever it is, I don't think this is the week to do it. Running the ball well is cute, but I think you're going to have to throw against Cincinnati because the points are going to be there. I think Joe Burrow feasts a bit more in this one. I don't think it's going to be quite as blowout, happy as people think, because I think Jacksonville's defense is a little better than people think it is. But yeah, there's no reason why that they shouldn't be able to cover the 3 or 3.5. And I too will take the over, because I do think maybe with the lack of defense in Cincinnati, we see Brian Thomas Jr. wake up. Maybe Hunter gets his first one of his career. I feel like either way, something should break with that. The defense in Cincinnati is a good recipe for it. So give me Cincinnati, give me the over. I think those are both good bets.
Yeah, I think let it ride. Cincinnati, I think, gets the win here. The Jaguars, they looked good enough anyway. In week 1 against a lesser opponent. This one, I think that the Bengals are better. We're talking about a team that wants to make that push this year to get back to the Super Bowl, and in an AFC that may be a little more open-ish than we thought going into the season with whatever's happening in Kansas City. Bengals want to keep the winning going. But yeah, the defensive woes are still there, I think, on both sides of the ball. So I will take the over. I'll take the Bengals to win. Devin has the Bengals.
Ooh,
the over there. All right, Sunday, 4:05 Eastern time.
Walk like an Egyptian, Devin. Walk like an Egyptian.
Yeah, we go to a
the Denver Broncos.
The 1-0 Denver Broncos could have looked better, but they got the win as well. So much like Cincinnati, you just take the win and run with it. 2.5-point road favorite at a surprise 1-0 Indianapolis Colts. Your over-under on this one is 42.5, EJ.
People ask me how I feel about Daniel Jones' first performance. Like, it's a good kid, man. I'm rooting for the kid. He does well, we got
a Daniel Jones is the GOAT.
There you go. Go to bed. Time to go to bed. Take a melatonin, please. And go to bed.
The kid's on a path to failing 8th grade science. Don't listen to him about Daniel Jones.
Oh no!
I'm kidding.
So after obviously,
he's a good kid.
After the obvious game of the year, game of the week, we call Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. This is, to me, probably the game of the week, because Denver is, to me, in my opinion, Denver is a little overvalued, in my opinion. A little overvalued, in my opinion. Indy is that team in the South that, if what we saw on Sunday was more about Indy being good and Miami being bad, I think it's the latter. I think Miami is still is there's issues there, but the AFC South is so wide open in a sense.
This guy sucks.
Like Houston is solid, but they're not dominant. So,
right.
To me, this game is going to say a lot about, okay, is Indy that spoiler team in that division? Because I don't know. So there's things I saw on Sunday that had me thinking, okay, this may not be an anomaly. So I'm going to take the Colts win this game here. I think Denver's a little overrated. But the best bet in this game, honestly, is the under. These are two really good defenses here. So take the under in this game, definitely.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the Colts team that people expected to see in week 1. Of course, it wasn't the Miami team that people expected to see in week 1 either. But I don't know. It's a lot of question marks there. Obviously, Daniel Jones. Is this resurgence? Is it just a new environment, a better culture, a better line? I was talking to someone before the season about how I kind of like the Colts, but I meant with Richardson, and then I had to retake. But they said, well, Jones doesn't have neighbors anymore. I was like, well, that's true. He does not have Malik Neighbors, but there are some pretty good offensive pieces here on the Indianapolis Colts. Let's not forget they have a fairly top-tier running back there and a nice rookie behind him. You got a couple of good wideouts and now a big rookie tight end as a safety valve. I don't know. Denver, people love the offense. People love Bo Nix, but what I saw in week 1 was a pretty good defense in Tennessee really sort of contain that offensive show of Denver. And I think this is a slight upgrade. I think Indianapolis is a much better defense than Tennessee. I think the whole team's more refined. And I'm going to call it Daniel Jones 2-0 coming out of this week. The Indianapolis Colts will not only cover that 2.5 points, but they will win outright. And I'm with EJ, though. I think it's going to be back and forth, but it's going to be a lot of field goals, maybe a touchdown, maybe a late missed 2-point conversion. I think this game's just under.
Yeah, Devin has the Broncos in the under. Yeah, a definitely sneaky good game in week 2 that we probably didn't think was going to be very good at all. We probably thought Denver was going to be better. We thought the Colts were going to be a lot worse. I had Riley Leonard ending up as QB1 in Indy in very short order, and that definitely doesn't look to be the case. So a lot of surprises, things that were reminding us that we don't know what we don't know, and because it's week 1 and nobody plays in the preseason, we still don't know what we don't know. Hopefully we'll learn a little bit more this week. But I'm gonna go with the hot hand, the proverbial hot hand here. And I'll take the Colts to cover that 2.5 to get the win, improve the 2-0. And yeah, I'll take the under as well. Bo Nix and company did not look great, and the Colts did put up some points. But again, I think that also leans to what Miami isn't this year. So I will take the under, even in what is usually a pretty low number there for the NFL.
When I was out watching the games, I told him, I was like, Danny must have finally gotten himself 10 dimes. Because he just gave us 4 quarters. The first time in his career. First 4 quarters.
Way out of line, buddy. Way out of line.
What do you mean way out of line? That's hilarious.
All right, we go then to Sunday night, 8:20 Eastern time on NBC. It's the 0-1 Falcons, who looked good despite the loss, traveling to 1-0 Minnesota, who was a 4.5-point home favorite coming off the comeback win in Chicago last night. 45.5 is your over-under in this one. EJ.
Yeah, this is going to be a sneaky good game, too, also. Penix, as I said earlier, looks fantastic in his first.
We got the quarterback rematch of the 2024 national title game.
Yes, McCarthy.
That's true. I hadn't put that together. That's definitely a cool storyline.
By the way, I think we cannot downplay what McCarthy did last night against Chicago in that spot. Your first start on Monday Night Football against a division rival. I know Chicago, and people think, Chicago's whatever. It's still in Chicago as a rival on Monday Night Football as a rookie. And then you're down double digits in the first half. You're not playing well, and then you turn around in the fourth quarter. That's a big moment for him there too. So, Minnesota, it's a tough game because I think Atlanta's pretty good. I don't think they're great. I just think they're frisky. So I'm gonna take. Yes, there you go. I'm gonna take Minnesota's at home. So I'll take Minnesota at home advantage here. Take the Vikings to slightly cover. Was it 4 points? You said 4.5 points.
4.5. Yep.
4.5 points, and the over under is 44.5. I will take the over. Actually, the best.
All right, very good, Sean.
Well, I hate saying EJ's right, so I won't.
Just say it. Okay. I'm not offended, buddy. Love you too.
Shut up. No, I was going to say the same thing about J.J. McCarthy. I think that ability to turn it around.
Get your mouth shut.
And he didn't do it alone. I think it felt like the Minnesota coaching staff just, I don't know if they saw something. I don't know if they felt something. But when you're having a struggle and your quarterback's down and things look bleak, having a guy on the field that has big playability can turn a game around. And I know it seemed like they loved Mason all day. They seemed to just ride the hot hand, 6-8 yards a carry. But Aaron Jones showed in the second half what he can do with one touch, and I think that being a pass play, that gave a lot of confidence to the kid, and I think that he showed more poise. I think that in the fourth quarter he looked good, and I think the Vikings are going to ride that. I do. I really want to pick the Dirty Birds here. I feel like it's time to step in and give Mike Penix his first win, but I don't see it. I think Bijan's going to have a hard time up the middle. I think he's going to have to do a lot in the passing game. There's going to be a lot of checkdowns. You might not have a London. We'll have to watch that closely, but I think all things point Minnesota here. Give me Minnesota, like EJ said. Cover that spread. And yeah, I think between the two teams, this should be a pretty easy open.
There's a lot of agreeing here, too.
What's that?
There's a lot of agreement here between Sean and I across the board.
EJ,
weird.
Sean?
You've made fun of my jokes. Now you're comparing me to you. I'm going to come over there.
Hold on. I complimented your joke. I like your joke.
I thought you told me to stop.
No, I like the joke. It was great.
Oh, well, then it wasn't a good one.
See, I can't win, bro. I can't.
yourself.
Now you're getting it.
Yes. Now he gets it.
This guy gets it.
Yeah, look, a very tough situation to walk into with your first start. But if you have watched J.J. McCarthy as much as I have over the past 3 of the past 4 football seasons, you know that performing better as the game goes on is nothing new for J.J. McCarthy. It's just kind of what he did at Michigan. And when you have a quarterback that if the game is close that you can trust. I mean, it's how many times do we hear them talk about, they gave Tom Brady too much time and there was 1:40 left on the clock, and Jalen Hurts, that feels like a guy that if the game is close, if you're within 9 or 10 points with 5 minutes to go, you believe that you're probably still going to win that football game. Like, doesn't matter what you do the first 3 if you can keep it close enough to put yourself in a position. And I get it was 1 week. I'm not sitting here putting J.J. McCarthy in Canton after last night, but he did extremely well when the likes of Colin Cowherd and Richard Sherman and others were tweeting that the Vikings had made a huge mistake letting Sam Darnold walk, and J.J. McCarthy showed up and showed out to a lot of those people. So I will say the Vikings keep that winning going for another week. I think they do cover that 4.5. Nothing against the Falcons. I think they are going to be improved, but this is going to be a stumbling block along the way. But yeah, I think the offenses do get rolling in this one on Sunday night. So I will take the over as well.
And I think the big thing the Vikings did in the last quarter of that game, as much as we can praise the offense, the defense turned on the juice too, because there was a point right at the end of that third quarter where all of a sudden Caleb Williams, who was having a very good game, he couldn't do anything. They couldn't get the ball out of his hands quick enough. It was night and day from the third to the fourth.
Yeah, credit to Ben Johnson and company. Their first game as the coaching staff there in Chicago, but that was the best and most.
It was a tale of 2 situations: the first 3 quarters versus the last one.
Yeah, I mean, and even in that fourth quarter, it's not that Caleb Williams looked bad. I would say even in that fourth quarter, he looked better than he did at pretty much any point last year.
He looked a little more grown up.
Yeah, definitely looked much improved. That Bears offense looked more like what we saw out of Detroit the last couple of seasons.
Ben Johnson effect.
Yeah,
I don't think it was that bad last year. I just think he didn't match the hype of what he came in. Obviously, number 1 pick. We expect him to reach a certain level. He didn't reach that. Now, if he was like the 10th pick in the draft, he kind of met it. But he's not.
All right.
Then he wouldn't be on the Bears.
Last one, we go to the first of 2 Monday night games. I think this is the only time.
Are you a fan of that, Jim? 2 Monday night games? Are you a fan of that?
Not really, but my Chargers are playing in the late game, so
I love it. Your Chargers, I love it.
I'll be a fan of it this week. But we start Monday night, 7:00 Eastern time, ABC and ESPN. It's the 1-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They travel to 0-1 Houston, who's 2.5-point home favorite. The over under is 42.5. We did have a Bucks will beat the Texans in the comment from one of your students there, Sean.
Right, from the Njukpa supporter earlier. So yeah,
makes sense.
Egbuka, and Njukpa. I lost track of syllables.
Homer.
Yeah, Homer.
All right, EJ, who you got?
This is gonna be a slobber knocker. Look at the two coaches, Pete Carroll against Jim Harbaugh.
No, we're talking.
No. Other one. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the other game.
Yeah, the late game on Monday.
I got into the whole Charger thing with you a second. My bad.
It's okay. We'll forgive you. We'll forgive you.
This is actually one of the weekend too.
Nobody.
This is actually one of the sneaky good games of the weekend too. Also, like after you look at the first two games I mentioned, this one too. Also, Houston again. Who is the Texans? Who are they? Like we're still trying to find
They're
out.
a football team, EJ. They play in Houston.
Who the hell is
True.
this?
Very true. And CJ Stroud, I'm a big fan, but kind of off. Not quite off the cliff, bad, but he's definitely regressed from the rookie year a little bit. Let's just put it that way. He's not ascending like he was in his first year. So this is a big game for Houston. I mean, look, they probably that game against the Rams is nip and tuck, and 14-9. What are you gonna do? Rams are a really good team. This is a tough game, man. I don't know which direction to go in this one. I'm gonna take to me the best the over, honestly, because it's that low.
Sure.
And Baker Mayfield, you know, if he could get on the heater at any point, God, I'll take Houston at home, but that's it. Here's my advice for this game: stay away. Don't bet. Just stay away across the board.
I mean, you can touch the over. If you're going to do it, touch the over. Don't touch any of their game lines.
If you're compelled or you're a degenerate, like my buddy Zach is, or me sometimes.
You're nothing but a degenerate.
Look, we all have it in ourselves. We just
fucking game. That ain't happening.
Don't touch it. All right, Sean.
Yeah, I meon, obviously CJ Stroud struggling. The Houston Texans struggling. Big thing here is that people you're going to talk about Stroud versus Mayfield. I think this is a battle of two very good up and coming head coaches. I mean, obviously the Buccaneers have a little bit more experience with Bowles than Ryans, but I love Ryans as a coach. But I say, the big thing in this one is, what's my over-under number that you guys keep praising?
42.5.
That is pretty low.
For these two teams, yeah.
I mean, they're really hanging their hats on these defenses because these are both very good defensive units. But, I mean, the Buccaneers, you have Mike Evans. We saw Egbuka. You should have the return of Chris Godwin, at least from what I'm hearing.
I believe.
You could potentially see Chris Godwin there. All of a sudden, Egbuka gets to work out of the slot on a nickel corner. Baker Mayfield could have a little fun here. I think he has fun every time he plays, and that's why he's fun to watch. But, I think C.J. Stroud's going to settle in. I mean, he's also had some receiver woes. You come in, Christian Kirk's getting praise. He's the new 2. He obviously lost his friend Tank Dell to an injury last year. They replaced him with Kirk. Now Kirk's hurt. But you saw Xavier Hutchinson kind of getting some reps. I think either way, you're going to end up with more reps for the guys behind, and you get a chance to practice with them. Or we might get the early return here of Christian Kirk. And either way, I think that offense wakes up. So I think the over is a very good bet in this game. Unfortunately, though, for my man CJ Stroud and for the future of my Dynasty Fantasy League, it's going to have to wait another week because I think Tampa rolls in this one. Give me Tampa to win, cover, whatever they need to do. I think this is going to be primetime games, not usually totally lopsided, but give me double-digit win here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And you pick Indy in their game against Denver, right?
I did.
So we're looking at 2-0 and 0-2 situation there.
Correct.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and those head-to-head games are going to become.
I have to start calling them as I see them, EJ. My preseason predictions are not going super well in that division, but the ironic thing is this is the first season in a long time I haven't rode the Colts. So here they go.
You did 2 years ago, though. That's a surprise. And it worked.
It sure
well,
did.
It worked until it didn't.
It worked until it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, until we just inevitable.
Yeah, it's usually how my car rolls. All right.
I'm kind of with Sean here. I think Tampa didn't look tremendous on Sunday, but they got the win. You're going to get some pieces back. Week 1's about shaking the rust off, and I think Tampa's just the better team here. Even if Houston was kind of at full strength and everything's clicking, I'd probably still pick the Bucks. But I don't think everything's clicking in Houston yet. So I think the Bucks win. I think they win pretty easily. And getting into that double-digit thing is pretty possible. I will take the over as well because it's so low. If it was in the 45, 49 range, I'd probably lean under because I don't know that Houston's going to score a ton of points, but they'll score enough to combine with Tampa here. So, Bucks get the win and move to 2-0. Texans are going to have some stuff to figure out coming out of this week here. All right. So I made an executive decision that unless we have student of the game Kyle Nash, we are officially retiring the tool time theme. Doesn't mean you're not a tool, EJ, but we'll take it a little bit easier on you.
We'll just take it as a given.
Yeah. We don't need
to sell it.
It's baked in the cake already, buddy.
Yeah. It's the shirt's still there. That's not going anywhere. But unless we get an appearance of student game Kyle Nash, we will retire the song.
I'm trying to sell the Super Bowl.
We can't do we can't do the dance justice. I think that's ultimately what made my decision here.
That's true. I'm not doing.
But EJ, I'll give them to you. I'll give you the opportunity to lead us off. And for the people at home who are on the podcast side, give us your. We'll start in the bottom 5 as we usually do.
Right.
So bottom of the graphic there. Give us your bottom 5 in the NFL list.
So I'll go for the listeners who are on the podcast. I'll go from 20-32. 20 have the Patriots. 29 the Titans. 30 the Dolphins. 31 the Panthers, and 32 the Saints.
All right.
Any questions?
Well, we'll give ours, and then we'll discuss a little bit. Mike has the Panthers, 28 Titans, Saints, Giants, and Dolphins, wrapping up at 32. Sean, go ahead.
Well, I really like Mike's bottom 3 at the Dolphins, Giants, and Saints. Those feel abysmal. The Saints showed a little life, but it took them 50 pass attempts to do it. And if your quarterback Spencer Rattler, you can't be throwing the ball 50 times. Like, who are we kidding?
By the way,
Alvin Kamara's back there, like, hello.
Before you forget, I was today 8 years old when I found out Spencer Rattler was black.
Yeah,
I had no idea until today he was black.
He is.
Well, there you go.
29. And now you know. At 29, I got the Panthers. Agreeing with a couple of you that I guess all 4 of us do have the Panthers in the bottom 5. Yeah. And at 28, had a little fun with it while I can. And this is based on what's the word? EJ, what's the O word?
Optics.
That's what it is. It's based on optics. What I saw on Sunday was an underprepared, under-executing, underperforming Detroit Lions team. And I thought that it was pretty embarrassing. And while they showed some life late, they were never, ever in those 4 quarters challenging the Green Bay Packers legitimately for that game. Mm-hmm. And to be this kind of proverbial, like you said, one of the teams battling for number 2, to play so poorly that the other team looks like they're battling for 1 or 1A. I don't know how good the Packers are. But just in case the Lions made them look that great, they are in my bottom 5. You should be ashamed, man, Campbell. You should be ashamed.
That's buddy. Well, okay.
I appreciate it.
Podcast.
As somebody who especially early on in the season, the first probably about 3 to 4 weeks of this ranking can get pretty volatile because I really do try to base it on what we have seen, not what we think we know, not what we think where teams are going. It's what we've seen so far. So at the very least, I appreciate the spirit of putting the Lions in the.
I'll say this to Sean's credit, though: Detroit was one of the 5 worst teams on Sunday. Was performance on Sunday.
Looking at all the screens, watching all the games happen, it looked real bad.
But are they the five worst teams in football overall? And again,
Probably not.
Everybody's power rankings are different. Everybody weighs different. Right. I know mine has a lot to do with.
But if I agree with you, and then they go out and lose like this again, then I'm like, man, I should have just done it. I just put them out there.
Yeah,
they should be punished, and they're being punished.
All right, my bottom 5: Saints at 28, Titans at 29, Panthers 30, Giants at 31, Dolphins at 32. EJ, my only issue with yours is that you do not have the New York Giants in your bottom 5.
Homer.
I'll tell you what. Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you why. As bad as the offense was, they were in that game till late in the fourth quarter. That was still a one-score game till late in the fourth quarter. Because that defense was really good.
But EJ, really?
Yes, really.
They looked listless.
Yeah, they were down.
Rusher has like 20 yards.
Russell stinks.
Yeah, they were
Malik
down.
Neighbors looks like he's just regretting life.
They were down half their offensive line to start the game. First off, they didn't play. So that after that, I knew we were in trouble. I was like, "Oh shit, we're in trouble now."
This is assuming they have an actual offensive starting line. They should be serious.
It sure helps to have the starters play, but like outside of that,
EJ, they didn't have me because I was holding out. I just
EJ, I think as a fan, you should hold out. Stop watching them. Stop talking about them.
Yeah.
But that's my only issue. Again, it's week 1. When we're talking about who's the worst, that'll shake itself out a little bit more. Let's go to the top 10. Oh Lord, EJ, you did it again. Give us your top 10.
All right, top 10. Here we go. Number 10, the Niners. Number 9, the Buccaneers. The 8, the Lions. Number 7, the Rams. Hubba. That's right. Which one are you talking about? Probably. Number 6, the Commanders. 5, Chargers. Jim's Chargers, by the way. 4, Packers. 3, Ravens. 2, Bills. 1, Eagles.
We'll talk about it, but it's the only thing I'm proud of you about this list is that you didn't have the Chiefs on it. Mike has Lions 10, Broncos 9, Steelers 8, Chiefs 7, Packers 6, Commanders 5, Chargers 4, Ravens 3, Bills 2, and Eagles 1.
Yeah, like me now in past years.
Yeah, we'll discuss them. Sean, your top 10.
All right, let's run them. Number 10, I had to get him in here. Apparently, I'm not the only one, it appears, but the Colts at number 10. Then I have the underperforming Broncos at 9. I got the Commanders at 8. The Minnesota Vikings, after their comeback, at number 7. I have the Los Angeles Rams at 6. The only actual team in Florida, the Buccaneers, at number 5. I have Jim's Chargers at number 4. Bills at 3, Eagles at 2, the only one that had them there, and that's simply because if I'm going to punish the Lions in case they screwed it up that bad, I'll reward the Packers in case they actually are that good. If the Eagles and if the Eagles had kind of done what we thought they had done, right, and had just obliterated Dallas, and no one spit on anyone, and everything. There's no weather, and it ends up being a 2 or 3 touchdown game, something like that. Then I probably don't have the guts to put the Packers over, no matter how good they look. But Eagles, like we said, a little suspect. Packers looked unstoppable. We'll see how much of that was true. But for today, that's the best team that played this Sunday. So I'll put them at 1.
Yeah. Go ahead, EJ.
No, I'm saying, Sean, I think what Sean is doing here based on this week's rankings, that he's basically freeze-framing what you saw this weekend. That's it. Nothing else.
For the most part. There's a few teams I clung to, but for the most part, I don't have anything else to base it on. I tried to eliminate what I thought was going to happen in the preseason because week 1 is so nonsense. Some teams did better than they should. Some teams did worse than they should. And other teams did exactly what they're going to do. And you don't know which ones are which.
Yeah.
Until the rust is off and the wheels are on the road, you'd have no idea. So that's all I can base it on. And that's what I saw.
And that's the beauty of the segment because, again, everyone has rankings for different reasons and different formulas and different process of how they do these things.
And mine involves a lot more emotion than most people's.
Right. Jim, mine.
And EJs are usually wrong.
5%. What?
I
5%.
appreciate the thought, but you got the story wrong.
When I'm really stuck, I just
morning.
ask Jim to send me your list, and then I pick the exact opposite.
Mine is 20% press conference appearances. Mine,
Press conferences, what a team did 6 years ago,
dinner time habits.
All right, EJ, shut up so I can give my top 10.
Let's get Jim's list, EJ.
I'm trying to filibuster here, Jimmy.
I know. I'll just kick you off. I have the Colts at 10, Rams 9, Bengals 8, Steelers 7, Commanders 6, Ravens 5, my Chargers 4, Bills 3, Packers 2, and Eagles 1. I kept the Eagles up top. I definitely don't hate what Sean did. But if you're the defending Super Bowl champion, as much as I hate it, and you get a win, you're going to stay at the top for the time being. I had to get the Colts in there. It probably maybe the only time this year.
Could be.
But they looked really good. I don't care.
They earned it this week. This is the 1 week where one win will do it for you.
Did you pick them on the pick'ems this week against Denver?
I did.
Probably be there next week, then, most likely.
They might be there. Well, we will certainly see. EJ, similar to a team you didn't put on your bottom 5, the 49ers in your top 10, man.
Good Lord, man.
That's brutal. That is just brutal.
If Sam Darnold had an abysmal game, and if he doesn't step into his own lineman on the last drive, like the Niners would have lost that game. I don't think they weren't doing anything to stop the Seattle Seahawks on that drive. Seattle just went like, here you go.
A listless 17-13.
One thing I forgot about, like my process and my pie graph, how I do these things is 10% hubba, money. Who do you trust? That bakes into this also too.
How are you trusting this team?
Who do you trust? If you trust them to get injured or screw up in a big game, then yeah, that's a good thing to trust the 49ers too.
Right, McCaffrey was hurt coming into the game. Purdy's hurt. Kittle is now out for multiple weeks. And the one thing we do know about hamstring injuries is they don't linger throughout the year. Jennings
they
hurt
just
already.
heal right up.
I just think my Niners number 10 is as egregious as Mike and Sean did the Broncos number 9. The Denver Broncos almost lost to a team that is considered the second worst team in football at home. We doing here. Denver's not a top 10 team right now. They're just not.
I don't think the Titans are a bottom 5 team by the end of the year. I don't. I think the Titans will be a middle of the pack team when the cream rises and the shit sinks to the bottom.
What kind of
Titans
cream?
will be right there in fresh water. They're going to be right in the middle.
Cream?
I like the Titans. I just like what they're doing. I like the culture they're building. I don't think they gave him a ton of weapons yet, but they have some young guys that could evolve into weapons, and I think they set him up with a lot of protection and a good defense on the other side.
I love Cam.
And I think it's a good recipe to win half-ish of your games, just under, and I think they're going to finish in the middle of the road. And that may be a gutsy call, but it's the call I'm making because I like what Tennessee's doing.
EG, I'm not a fan of, and it hurts me to say it, you and Mike having the Lions in your top 10. And again, I know to you, again, some of that is a degree of trust.
But I feel the same way about the Chiefs.
The Chiefs in the top 10. But again, I see where both of you are coming from with it.
EJ, did you take the Chiefs in your pick'ems this week?
No, Philly.
No. So you didn't take the Chiefs, so you pushed them out because you figure this is an 0-2 team.
I am very concerned with this Chiefs team. There is a world. I recorded this podcast with my boy Zach today. There is a world where he said on the podcast. Now I don't think it's gonna happen, but a world where the Chiefs may end up in last place in the AFC West this year.
That's hot.
Falling below the Raiders.
Hell, the Raiders are frisky as hell. You saw Gino today.
I wonder what the Vegas odds on that are.
Frisky as hell, but they only beat the team who you have in your bottom 5, bro.
Well, they're getting punished the same way. So, in some light way, they're getting punished.
7-point win over one of the 5 worst teams in football isn't frisky, bud.
It's the same way punished. There's all this hype coming to the year. The Pats 8.5 wins. They're gonna be a playoff team. And so many credible people were saying this shit too also. And the Raiders came and punked them in their house.
I like Drake May still.
I do too, but that's a bad loss.
But then there's the other side of me that's like good for Geno Smith.
Oh yeah, and the Raiders have what? Probably a top 3 tight end in the league right now. You have a rookie running back who was.
That's pretty much it.
No, they have some pieces there.
Jacoby Myers is a solid wide receiver.
Jacoby Myers is a good wide receiver 2.
Yeah,
He'd be a great wide receiver 3. He's not a 1. I
Brock
can't
Bowers
buy
is your 1.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is right. You're running a Chiefs offense.
Max Crosby.
And
Worked
you're
out
asking
pretty
Geno
well
Smith
for the
to-
Chiefs.
That helps a lot.
Like I was saying, like they'll be one of those like the record will reflect on it. They'll be like probably a 6-11 team this year. But one of those weeks, every week you play the Raiders, they're gonna be hard out.
That's Pete Carroll effect too.
The Raiders have good players. I don't know that they're at the wide receiver position.
Well,
but if Genty fights for yards and is anywhere good, I mean, could I see them winning more games than everyone thinks? Sure. Do I think the Chiefs are going to win less?
No, I agree with you. No, in fact,
because the Raiders are going to lose 2 games to the Chiefs.
Not so fast, my friend.
No,
right, I agree with you, but
although it is curious though, now that you've called it, or
I didn't call it that. Call that. I said that I can see where your brain.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense that
I want to see what the Vegas odds are on that world, and I might throw a couple dollars.
His logic was that the other 3 teams in the AFC West are ascending right now. Denver's ascending, other lower rated ascending. The Chargers are ascending, obviously. The Raiders are
they?
I think they're ascending in way. They're better than they were last year, to put it that way. So the Chiefs are going to regress. How much they regress, we'll see. That schedule, though. That schedule is why I'm scared of the Chiefs.
I love how EJ questioned the Broncos in our top 10, and then he's like, "They're ascending."
They're still a good team.
They're clearly ascending. That team is
still
legit.
a good team. They're still a good team. They'll win.
Well, when you're the perpetual fence setter, that's the thing.
No, Jim. There are people out there. They're saying that the
EJ,
world.
Don't blame this on people. This is you, bro.
EJ, you are talking yourself into a corner. You just told me that a playoff team last year is ascending and doesn't belong in the top 10.
They're a playoff contender, but there are people who have they think they'll be in the style game this year. I'm like, stop. No, stop.
EJ. They were in the playoffs last year, right? The Broncos?
They were. Yes, first round. And they lost.
And they're ascending.
Yeah, they're ascending.
And how the hell do they not belong in the top 10?
Because my top 10 is better than yours. That's why. Niners, baby.
I don't get.
Easy, Lou.
That's your answer. Come on.
I mean,
again,
this is the man that tries to incorrectly accuse me of being the fence sitter, and these are the things that comes out of his mouth. From his mouth to God's ears. If he does it, this is him. Own this.
The Broncos.
All right, we're out there right now in the comments feed. If you can tell me what EJ just predicted the Final Four finish of the NFC West would be,
the AFC West,
it would be news to me because I have no idea. I don't even know if he thinks the Chargers are going to win.
No, I think the Raiders will still be in last place. I did not say the Raiders will win.
That's all we know.
That was Cowley on your show earlier today.
Check out that podcast later. Drumming tomorrow morning. Trust me.
There you go.
Like,
you want to listen to really? You think EJ's takes are bad? Go listen to Zach the Degenerate on EJ's podcast.
Yes,
oh my God. How fun was that?
But yeah, I see what you're doing, Lions. Mike, I won't go hard on his since he's not here to defend them, but he did submit them, so I wanted to get them on the list.
He is the only Chiefs, though.
He is the only Chiefs. That's
clinging to hope.
That's the most surprising thing on this episode.
Because it's not me.
The only way they're the number 7 is if his number 1's about to lose.
Is it surprising that
that's the only question mark I have on the thing, and it's more of a statement of what his list says. Is like one of those two things cannot be.
I'm going to text him right now to see if he's picking.
I think the egregious thing here,
like who he has in that game, because at which point either the Chiefs are falling out or we have a new number 1.
So is it more surprising that Mike put the Chiefs in the top 10? Or that I didn't have him in my top 10 because I'm the big Chiefs homer in this fucking panel for last.
Oh, it's incredibly shocking that you didn't have them in. I looked at when you sent me your list.
Crap for no Ravens. No one's giving me any crap for that.
Well, we'll get there. But
that's bad. But again, your science makes sense though. Freeze frame.
Okay, Mike has fly Eagles fly. So, and I am a little bit more confused.
Right, Birds are going to win. So the Chiefs aren't the 7th best team.
Correct. Yeah, no, EJ, when you sent me your list, I had to look over it 3 times to make sure that I wasn't. I was like, did he actually have the Chiefs at like 1? Because I was looking in that like 7 to 10 range and just I couldn't find them.
It was but okay, real quick before we go to the gym, real quick. Sean. Oh, I'm going to say now. Fuck. I totally dropped the ball on that one.
We're
Oh no,
talking about
not Sean. It was Jim. Sorry, Jim.
Yeah.
The Bengals at 8.
Yeah, I know they had close game with the Browns, but and again, maybe this is a little bit of who do you trust or where I think they're going to be as the season plays on. Because after the Steelers at 7, and I may even question the Steelers at 7 a little bit, but like I knew the Colts were going to sneak in at 10, but like that 7, 8, 9 range, because like I don't think the Rams look that impressive in their win. So I think I had a hard time filling those spots. So it's like, I'm going to put in a team that got a win. Again, it's a tough win. It's a division win. I get they very easily could have lost, but again, second time in 6 seasons that the Bengals have started 1-0. And I believe the other year that they did it was the year they went to the Super Bowl. So I'm not changing my pick. I still have the Ravens winning the AFC, but that's something that's hard to do, especially in today's NFL when all the pieces aren't clicking in the preseason. To get a division win is a pretty solid one, especially in a difficult division. So yeah, I thought those 2 spots were hard to fill. Now to Sean not having the Ravens, okay. I will say this: my first draft of my list did not have the Ravens because
I couldn't put an 0-1 team in. I didn't want to put an 0-1 team in.
But then the more and more that I thought about it is like they still looked incredibly dominant for 3+ quarters.
If Derrick Henry doesn't fumble the ball,
the Ravens might be.
The Ravens are
3
battling for 1. Like
3,
they just shut down Josh Allen and the Bills.
Yeah. So then, like, you give a great team life, they're going to take it, and that's what happened.
I was winning a fantasy game by 20 points when that fumble happened. I had Derrick Henry, he had Josh Allen.
Oh.
And I lost by 6.
I'm going to say I'm sorry to hear that.
Of course, I also started Devontae Smith over Zay Flowers, so part of it's my fault.
Well, the crazy thing, though,
mistake for me.
I left that game still saying to myself that Baltimore is still a better team than Buffalo.
I think they are. I think they are.
I still think they're a balanced team with more talented pieces. I feel like when you take the rosters and you put them side by side, I think the Ravens are a far more talented team.
And I'm gonna give
because one guy who never let you down, and no one else could fucking pick up the slack, right? So like that's a problem, right?
Right.
Like, someone's got to be like, oh man, we got to step up for Derek. We got to like
right.
Derrick Henry. You're like, you guys can't stop him once.
If you're going into last weekend and somebody tells you that Derrick Henry is going to be the fuse that gets lit for the right? Ravens meltdown, you wouldn't have believed it. Like,
I would have been more likely to believe his first quarter yardage,
right,
than I would have that he was going to fumble in the fourth and ruin everything.
Having said that, I have a hot take for you.
Oh, here we go. Cue it up.
That button, cue button number, man.
What you got?
That's not a bad loss for Baltimore.
That's not a bad loss.
That's not a bad loss. Let me tell you why.
That's just bad commentary.
No, it's not a bad loss. Tell you why.
Explain.
Had they won that game on Sunday, right? Just say they held on to that big lead. What's the narrative on Monday morning? Oh, it's a great win for the Ravens. Do it in January. So they're in a no-win situation anyway. Okay.
Sure. I think both of these teams are, if we're being honest.
I feel that's my narrative for Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying.
Like, hey, great comeback win. It's a shame he couldn't do it against the Chiefs, who couldn't score last year.
But I feel like Baltimore is a little more polarizing in comparatively speaking to the two teams. But with Lamar and the narrative there and whatnot, I feel like Josh Allen gets a little more passes there because he's been to multiple.
What was the final score of that game they lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs? Can we?
Which one? 2 years ago?
No, the last year didn't Buffalo
lost to KC by 3? I think it was by 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
I wonder how many points the Chiefs scored.
I think 32, maybe.
It was 32-29. So it was
they gave up
40
32 points to the Kansas City Chiefs. And then yesterday,
40.
or this weekend,
40.
they gave up 40. So the great defensive-minded coach in the Great White North with the great Buffalo defense in the last two games that mattered for the Buffalo Bills, who are 1-1 in those games, has given up 72 points in 8 quarters.
Yeah.
Josh Allen looks great because they can't win if he doesn't. Josh Allen has to do what Joe Burrow has to do, except he doesn't have Jamar Chase. He doesn't have T. Higgins. Okay?
Right.
Like, the hot take here is that win or not, Buffalo being a city with a great defense is no more. There is no great defense in the Great White North. That defense is incredibly mediocre at best, and if they don't address it, they're never going to win in the playoffs because you can't outscore teams that shut down your offense. You can't stop them. That's the hot take here, is that the Buffalo – it's not that Baltimore would have been just as bad if they lost. It's that I think it's a bad win for Buffalo, because I think it disguises a lot of the problems that were going on. They couldn't stop the run, and I know it's Derrick Henry. They couldn't stop – Lamar Jackson didn't even beat him with his legs.
No.
He didn't have a ton of rushing yards. And when Derrick Henry's running for 40 a clip, you don't have to.
Sure.
But he was throwing, and Zay Flowers was running routes that he hasn't run in the last 2 years. So, if anything,
DeAndre Hopkins has an early catch of the year candidate.
I know what you're saying. You're right about Lamar, because Lamar had 70 yards rushing, which is considered bad for Lamar.
Right, 14-19, 209 yards through the air. Very efficient for Lamar Jackson. Yeah, 70 yards on the ground, 6 carries for 70 yards.
The Baltimore Ravens ran a balanced game because no matter what they did worked. They didn't have to focus on they didn't have to be like running every play or pass it. They could do whatever they wanted because Buffalo wasn't shutting anything down until all of a sudden Derrick Henry drops a football and the bottom falls out of the bowl in Baltimore. And all of a sudden no one can stop anybody. And the offense goes, what if we just did all the wrong things for 6 plays? And I just didn't understand it. They came out, all they had to do was get a first down. I'm like, give it to Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry had more rushing yards than the Buffalo Bills.
Yep,
it's just insane.
But
yeah, I don't know. And as somebody who has the Bills at 3, I had a hard time putting them there.
When you take the loss,
I just am not sure that the Chargers or the Bucks or the Rams or any of those teams are actually better than the Bills. But the Bills got to clean a lot of shit up.
When you take the loss, Ravens lost against the Chiefs 2 years ago, the loss against the Bills in the playoffs last year, and then the loss on Sunday night. All 3 of those games, Baltimore beat themselves. All 3.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're the Baltimore Ravens and the stat came out 17 under John Harbaugh, which I mean he's been there a very long time. Under John Harbaugh, 17 losses when you've been
double
up by
digit leads, right?
Yeah, that is a problem. Like let's be fair to address.
I was listening to a radio broadcast today that said almost 10 of those have come since 2021. Like half of those have come in the last 4 seasons.
And I'm curious how many of those in the playoffs too, because I've seen quite a few of those.
Yeah,
those are collapses, man.
Right, I don't know if it's just if they're just. They get these big leads and they just kind of have a swagger like we're going to win.
I still think there's a belief in Baltimore that Ray Lewis plays there. I feel like there's this belief that if we just slow down and the defense just keeps stopping them. But what keeps happening is they got to stop taking. They're going to just have to start. The trouble is they're going to get called out. People are running up the score, which isn't as big of a deal in the NFL as in college.
Yeah, so what?
But they're going to have to just start doing it.
Right.
I would make sure that after last night, I never blow a lead again.
Right. If I'm John Harbaugh and the Ravens,
Lamar,
I would
get out there and kill him.
I'd much rather sit in a post-game press conference and explain why I just dropped 60 than why I just blew a 20-point lead.
The biggest fear is that they're going to have to explain why Lamar Jackson got hurt at the start of the fourth quarter when they were up 28 points. That's what their big fear is.
That's why I'm a firm believer in running with score. I don't give a fuck because shit like that happened on Sunday.
Like you want it to stop happening, then stop it from happening.
Sure,
that's it. And I don't think Buffalo would have.
I think part of the problem is I don't think the Ravens have the correct backup quarterback. Their backup quarterback's Cooper Rush. Like that's look, I know everybody had the joke about how he should have been the starter in Dallas a year ago, but that wasn't me. I may not be the biggest Dak Prescott guy, but that wasn't me. Cooper Rush ain't the right guy because at no point are you gonna feel safe taking Lamar Jackson out of the game.
Nope.
Like when you had Tyler Huntley there was times.
But be serious. Like the Cincinnati Bengals, at what point are they going to feel comfortable taking Joe Burrow out of the game? Now they're never ahead by that many points.
No.
Let me ask you this question though: 4th and 3 in that game when Buffalo came back and Baltimore had a chance to either ice the game with a first down or punt the ball, and they punted the ball. Would you even give any thought about going for it on 4th down?
Based on how the momentum swing had turned, I thought about it for them. I was like, man, I just didn't understand. If Derrick Henry fumbled, right? Something that never happens.
Right.
Like, proverbially I would have, Josh Allen scored. You get the ball. I would have hit Derrick Henry 4 times. I don't care where on the field it is. I'd have been like, go get him, Derrick. Give him a chance. But they gave him like 1 carry, and then they decided to like
put it in Lamar's hands pretty much.
Yeah, they like let Lamar, and I'm like, that seems like the wrong time to let Lamar do it because your wheels are spinning. You've lost, I don't know. I just, I mean, the good news is it seems like the right Harbaugh coaches Jim's Chargers.
That's right.
Seems to be on.
Well,
he's at least ascending, EJ.
The reason
Ravens are descending.
The only reason why I agree with them punting the ball was because if they don't get on 4th down, they're ready in field goal range immediately because they're on their own like 32-yard line to go.
Yeah. At the very least, try to fake them out, right? Because at that point, 5 yards.
I think a hot take would be: are the Ravens going to score this many points again this year?
There you go.
That's a lot of points.
They might on Sunday. I think they're going to blow out Cleveland.
Just hammer.
They're going to blow out Cleveland. They're going to blow out Cleveland.
But
stop.
If I'm the Ravens in that spot, to answer your question, EJ, I'm at least putting my offense on the field and trying to get the Bills to jump, because at the 35, what's the difference between 35
and with as much momentum as they had coursing through them, there's a good chance it would have happened.
Right, get them to jump. Get them to jump
because they're afraid of Lamar. They can't stop Lamar.
Bro, you're just playing the odds at this point. When you punt the ball, you're just playing the odds. The better odds to punt it and hopefully
you're trusting a defense that just let Josh Allen score 3 plays. That's what you're doing.
I agree.
Well, and Kyle Hamilton, your best defensive player, was banged up. He had a finger injury, so he's not.
You were without him. I question a lot of the decisions, and Derrick Henry's beating himself up.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
if you're looking for a flyer to bet on, bet whatever they say Derrick Henry's going to rush for next week. I'd bet the over.
All I know is that this year, I said it before the year started, and I'm even more on this now post game here. This is a Super Bowl bust year for Jim Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh. You don't want to. You don't get the Super Bowl this year. He's done.
Let me ask you this: is it a Super Bowl or bust year for Sean McDermott?
Yes.
Where? Because I think
these 2 teams are exactly the same.
I think there's definitely a bust. Like there's a million scenarios where Sean McDermott doesn't survive this season.
But there's also
I want to know where the line is where he does.
What saves Buffalo is that between the 2 teams, there's a big talent gap between the 2 teams.
That's not that part of that is McDermott's problem. Like I know it's higher up personnel doing the hiring, but you had Stephon Diggs and you've had the opportunity to go sign otherwise, and you don't. You draft Keon Coleman and you're like, that's fine. We don't need a weapon because
you have Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is playing Donovan McNabb's offense. Like we'll just win because Josh Allen's great. Like
that's because
what Josh Allen would ask for. Josh Allen for Christmas this year is just asking for whatever it takes to get a wide receiver. If that means no Sean McDermott, if that means an indoor stadium, if that means getting traded, Josh Allen he's tired. I know he loves the spotlight and he succeeds either way, but Joe Burrow's the greatest, and right now he is, but he's got a really good set of guys out there catching the ball. I couldn't tell you who the third receiver on Buffalo is.
But that's also the
Samuel. Is it still Curtis Samuel? Is that he's still Bill?
But that's also the price you pay for having an elite quarterback too. Also, it's that we have this guy, so we can do without having a elite number one receiver and just kind of build on that.
Right. Well, a lot of teams that do that have an elite defense. I'm not seeing it, EJ. I just talked about that.
Well, that's your point.
The defense stinks in Buffalo.
Well, against Baltimore, definitely, yeah.
Well, and against Kansas City too, apparently.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a strange situation, and I'll tell you what, if Buffalo, God, it's just a shame because I think if Buffalo had lost that game, all of a sudden McDermott's on a borderline hot seat. I really do, because I think it would have come across as you got pushed around for 4 quarters despite whatever Josh Allen was doing.
Here's the deal. McDermott's contract goes to 2027. John Harbaugh just signed an extension that keeps him there through 2028. If either of these teams make it to the Super Bowl and lose, you're fine. You can argue that if they get to the AFC title game and lose, they're probably okay.
I think both these teams don't want to lose to it. If you have both of, if it's Bills Ravens in the AFC title game, I think it's a battle of the coaches for their jobs.
But if anything less than at least an AFC title game, either or both of these coaches are gone.
I would say
if they're not in, they're gone.
I'll give you this. I do agree with Sean's point about McDermott being a little miniature hot seat, but I think it's clear that John Harbaugh's on a larger hot seat than McDermott is.
I disagree. I think their seat is equally as hot.
And I would argue if one of them's a skosh hotter, I'm going with the guy in Buffalo. I think he's.
Yeah, I think they're equally as hot. I don't think Sunday's game had any impact on the hotness of either seat.
Nope, the seats are just as hot as they were before the game.
No, because
I'll agree with Pappy down there though. Ranger was great today.
There was.
Yeah, Phillies by a touchdown.
Yeah.
All right.
Warmer 50 home runs.
That's where we will leave the power rankings. We'll probably keep them a little shorter in future weeks, but
yes, we will.
We had some fun with that one. But that brings us to, how we finish the show.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up.
You lock it up.
Lock it up.
Do it.
All right. We look ahead to the weekend that will be, and one thing that will happen this weekend. And EJ, I beg you, don't be lame.
Stop it. I'm pretty good at this stuff. No, my lock of the week this week actually is I'm going to double down on my boy Indiana Jones. I think this week you'll have another solid game. He'll throw for 2 touchdowns.
Indianapolis Jones.
Yes, he'll throw for 2 touchdowns and rush for 1 in a win against the, in my opinion,
3 total.
Yeah, 3 total in a win against the overrated Broncos.
Oh, there we go.
Lock it up.
Throwing in the overrated. Sean, what will happen this weekend?
Well, I was going to try to go big, but I thought my Steelers pick for the season was pretty big, so I'm going to keep it fairly simple. It's still not a sure-in, but all but in a losing effort. Cam Ward gets his first touchdown pass of his career this weekend in a losing effort. So props to Cam Ward. Let's get him his first touchdown this week.
There you go.
Lock it up.
And my thing that will happen is the beginning of the end of Crusty, Dusty, Rusty Wilson in New York will begin. Jackson Dart will replace Russell Wilson as the QB1.
Does he throw for more yards than Russell Wilson in the game? Not that you have to lock that up.
No,
your call. Will he replace him and do better than him?
No, he will replace him at a point where he will not throw more yards, but he will look better in the yards that he throws.
So you think?
And again, not lock it up. Does Dart start next week?
Yes.
Okay.
See,
because I'm going to trade for him on your recommendation.
The reason why Jim's take actually is a really good one too, especially is that the fact that Dayball after losing on Sunday was non-committal for 24 hours, like out the shoot. to tell you where his head's at.
Now, here's what I actually think about the New York Giants, that throwing Jackson Dart out this quickly is going to be one of those mistakes that a lot of teams make with young quarterbacks.
It's probably not the right play.
It's not the right
It's going to feel like it.
I think they should go to Jameis first.
There's a guy on the hot seat. Who's on the hot seat? Russell Wilson?
Dable.
Brian Dable. No, Brian. They have.
He's been on the hot seat since they hired him.
I was going to say the pink slip is already filled out. It's just when they slip it through his office door. Like that's
They hired him to sit on the hot seat that was already there.
There's not a chance that he's the coach in New York next year.
The two hottest seats in the league right now, obviously, number 2 is Brian Dable. Number 1 is Mike McDaniel in Miami.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God, he might be gone by week 4.
Yep. This week, Jim, don't get mad at me. This week is New England. It's a fucking must-win for the Dolphins, without question. That shit could get.
If it looks as bad as last week, I think he's gone.
Yes. That's the thing. I will actually surprisingly agree with you there, and because it's not a must-win.
I love how that's always how we pitch that.
But like, here's the
surprisingly,
no, because last year the year before when EJ threw out a must-win in week 2. It was like
it was week 1.
It was like a playoff bubble bursting must-win.
It was a Bills Jets week 1 game. The game that Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
Yes, yeah, like it was asinine. Like, this isn't a Dolphins must-win to make the playoffs. This is Dolphins must-win to keep their head coach with a job, and I will agree with that.
Not only that, because here's the deal: you lose New England, you're 0-2, you're going to Buffalo week 3. Good luck with that.
Like, let's be serious. If you win, you're just delaying the inevitable. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Right. But you at least calm the waters for a week or so before going to Buffalo week 3.
Week.
Right, because then again you have let's take a little
1 and 2 over 0-3 going week 4. Let's put it that way.
Let's introduce EJ to the evil twins, evil cat. The evil.
I mean, here's the deal: you host New England, you at Buffalo, host the Jets, at Carolina, host the Chargers, then you have Browns, Falcons. Dude, after week 8, it gets a little bit rough because then you have Baltimore, Buffalo again, Washington, New Orleans, Jets again, Pittsburgh, Cincy, Tampa, New England.
Here's the thing, though.
After
the Buffalo game, it does get a little bit lighter for the Dolphins. So if they win this game, you lose to Buffalo week 3.
I don't think you can classify the New York Jets as lighter at this point.
It was lighter than Buffalo.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
I'm saying it's a winnable game.
Jets go out and play like the Jets. You guys have anybody who had the Steelers on their list have to throw them off.
Yeah. Oh boy, like it's just wild. All right, let's.
Week 1 is just it's a fun time to talk about it.
I told you
we're all gonna be wrong.
That's what I said.
Exactly.
Oh
yeah, he's done. He will absolutely not be the coach by middle of October.
Oh, you'll call.
I think that's about as far as it goes. Yeah,
6 weeks max. All right, EJ, let them know where they can follow you.
All right, you can follow my podcast, of course, Ernst Week Podcast, across all podcast catchers on YouTube, especially too at Ernst Week Pod on YouTube. I am on X at EJ Christian 7. That's all I got for you. Love you guys.
All right, Sean, let them know.
All right, well, you can follow me and my evil cat down here in Florida if you want. We're pretty easy to find. But if you'd rather do it online, follow us on Twitter. We are at Sean Shine State. And keep an eye on us on Spotify for the Sean Shine Statement. I've had some ideas. I think it's going to actually get going this year. So keep your eye out for the Sean Shine Statement on Spotify. Otherwise, I will follow you, and very creepily.
All right, very good. My tweet of the week, and we'll see if I can actually continue this beyond this week, or if it'll just be a thing because it popped up on my feed. But it was reported a few days ago, Penn State switching from Nike to Adidas as the school's apparel provider after it got approved by the school's board of directors. And at Oregon Homer said, "Watch out, college football. The sport's most boring uniform just partnered up with the sport's most boring uniform company." So there we you I will say this. I don't know that Penn State's
really
the most boring
tweet.
because Alabama only has 2 uniforms. Penn State at least has their Legends uniform or whatever, where they put a number on the helmet.
It's pretty much, would you like to put your label on our blue and white jersey?
Right. People are freaking out about it. I'm like, okay, just take the Nike logo off and put the 3 stripes on. There you go.
That's it.
That's what your uniform is going to look like. All right, we're going to wrap it up. You can follow me at Big Jim Sports on Twitter and Blue Sky. But make sure you are following along with the show. We're on all podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more. Get us on YouTube as well. Hit the subscribe button there. You can get us at Huddle Up Podcast on Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter. Instagram is at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. Grab our merchandise over there on the TeePublic store. Thanks, everybody, for playing along with us again this week. Certainly always do appreciate that. And until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.